Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with us a very interesting topic on how to know if it's the right one. This is not talking about if he buys you shawarma or he takes you on a good and beautiful date. No, these are serious conversations that are going to serve as a guideline, in preparing yourself to that wonderful guy that you also want to be with. I'm going to be sharing with you 5 questions asked. These are not questions where you just need to ask the guy at every point where that it feels like you are interrogating him. You can get answers to some of these questions by doing proper observation of his personality. So you don't have to necessarily ask the questions, but every questions that I'm going to be listing here are things that you cannot do without. So make sure you watch and also share to your female friends around you, even your male friends, your brothers, everyone you can think of. This is going to be a very helpful video. Let's get into it. The first question you want to ask is, does he love himself? I know oftentimes when people talk about questions to ask before you say I do, you want to know if he loves you. But I think it's actually a deception to expect someone who has not properly given himself or has not opened himself to love enough. You expect him to now give you love. It's a big deception. Rather than focusing on if he loves me or how does he treat me, check out how he treats himself, how he loves himself, how he takes care of his body, soul, and his spirit. Is he someone who is intentional about his growth? One of the ways you know a person who loves himself is that he's also intentional about his growth. He's intentional about his health. He's intentional about his spiritual life and everything that revolves around him. And he has a very healthy self-esteem. In short, according to research, a study shows that self-esteem is one of the most powerful predicators for a healthy relationship. So that shows already that if a person has not experienced or has not opened himself to enough self-love, it could become a serious burden along the line in that relationship, because it's going to be very dependent, insecure, and sometimes even manipulative. So you have to be sure that he loves himself. And like I said, one of the ways you know he loves himself is how much he wants to grow. Because it's easy to ask him and say, do you love yourself? And he says yes. Of course, who would say they hate themselves? But love is not just in words, it's also in action. So you check around how he treats himself, and even what the kind of food he eats. When you see someone who just eats any food and doesn't care even if it's healthy for him, it shows that he doesn't love himself enough. I know that can sound extreme, but I mean, over time, the more you grow, the more you discover that to live a better life, you just have to eat good food and healthy food. You don't have to have all the money in the world. So what I'm just saying is, every area of his life is going to reflect if truly he loves himself. So you don't even need to ask the question. All you just need to do is to observe and you will get your answer. The second question that is very important for you to ask or for you to find the answer to before you go ahead to say yes is, does he have a healthy relationship with his friends and his family? This is another important area you want to check in with, because sometimes ladies can easily get blinded by emotions, or their minds could get clouded by their emotions, and they tend to just ignore every other signal that the guy has been given. I mean, you're in a talking stage with someone with a guy that you've been speaking with for over 2 weeks, 1 week, and he has never mentioned his dad to you. He has never mentioned his mom. He's never mentioned his siblings. I mean, that is a big red flag, if I want to be honest. Because it's very rare for someone who has a healthy family relationship not to want to talk about their family. Even those that have a bad relation with their family, they still talk about their family. So the point is just that it's not ideal. No normal person would not want to share their family with someone they claim to love. So if he's not speaking about his family, or you observe he doesn't have a very good relationship with his family or friends, then you need to really reconsider, or better say question, and find out what is wrong. Now, I understand that some people have some issues with their family. Is understanding. I'm not saying it's compulsory that you are in talking terms with your family. In as much as it is also very important to fix whatever is wrong with your family relationship, but it is also necessary that a man must have at least people he values and he cherishes, people who don't owe him anything, but yet he's treating them well just because of maybe certain proximities like friends and all. So it just makes sense, because like I always say, we humans are social beings. So it's so weird for someone not to just have a friend. So you are talking with the guy, he never mentions any friend to you, and he never mentioned family to you, and you're still going out with him. and trying to enjoy his money. My sister, you are on a long thing. So is he accountable to someone? Does he have a bro code? Does he have friends who can put him or call him to order? Does he have friends that they respect? Does he have families that they respect? All of these things are very, very important for you to find a very, very convincing answers to before you go ahead with that relationship. The next question is, does he handle you with respect as much as he respects other persons? Now, I intentionally linked that up together because it's easy for a lot of ladies to say, oh, he respects me, but does he respect you as much as he respects every other person? That's the question. Because one of the ways to know a man's true character is in the way he treats people who actually mean nothing to him. For instance, you see the way he's rude to people, rude to strangers, he talks less at them, but when it comes to you, he becomes a saint. That is not his true character. His true character is that one that you see that he does to people out there. People that he knows he has certain privileges over them. He uses it wrongly. Now, that is his true character. So does he respect you as much as he respects others? These are very important things that you need to observe. So make sure he respects your boundaries. He respects you when you speak. He wants to hear your voice. He wants not just give you a voice, but he wants you to have your voice. Make sure he's not trying to subdue you to whatever traditional beliefs that he has, and also not mocking your dreams and looking down on what you aspire to become in life. So these are necessary things you have to look out for to be sure the guy is right for you. He has to respect you. Ladies, take this seriously. A man who loves you, one of the strongest proof is he respects you. The fourth question you need to ask is, has he clearly defined what he wants from you? Hey, this is a big one. Research has revealed that most times ladies live in their heads. They worry so much about what is less. Sometimes it could have a very bad impact on them. You have to understand that men speak what they think when the matter of relationship is involved. They speak what they think. They speak what they believe. So they don't act it alone. Most times ladies prefer to act how they feel. When relationship is involved, when emotions are involved, a lady might not want to. So you ask her, what's wrong? She'll say nothing is wrong. Meanwhile, something is wrong because you can see it from her action. But men are not, an average man is not like that. An average man will speak what he feels or what he thinks. Now, this does not mean men are more vocal than women. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying in the context of relationship, men speak what is in their head. Women act what they feel. So you cannot use your woman's judgment on a man when relationship is involved. So you have to be sure he gives you your words. I mean, people even give their words and they don't keep to it. So how much more he not giving you his words? So you have to just be sure you ask the right question. Has he defined what exactly he wants from you? Does he just want sex? Does he just want you to be his future baby mama? Does he just want you as a company? There are some guys that they don't want anything to do with you. They want you around. They just want you around them. They want you to keep them company. Does he really want you as a wife? Or does he want you as a girlfriend? He has to define what he wants. Don't define it for him. No matter how caring he is, no matter how caring he is, no matter how nice he seems to be, no matter how much of a gift he gets for you, it is not a proposal until he speaks it and he shows it in his actions. So his actions must back his words, and his words must back his actions. That's the word of a man. I have had to settle a lot of issues where ladies have given in. They have given all their body, everything to the guy, and the guy is like, I never asked you out. Even though that's a weak man, but at the same time, ladies never fall into that category of people who assume relationship. They don't become wife by assumption. Nobody got married. Nobody said I do by thinking about it. So in short, if you go to the court to get married, they will ask you, are you taking her? Are you taking him as your lawfully wedded wife or husband? And you have to answer. You don't nod. You don't do like this and the court will join you together. Never. You have to answer. Then after you've answered, they will not tell you to prove it by kissing. If you don't kiss, you are not getting joined by the law. That is the law in Nigeria. So it's just sensible that his actions backs up his words and his words backs up his action. But when you go ahead to predict or to assume that he wants you when he has not said it, you are setting yourself up to be dragged. You are setting yourself up for an emotional roller coaster, and it wouldn't be good for you. So the best thing is, if you are agitated, if you feel impatient enough, go ahead to ask him,
bro, what exactly do you want with me? Right. What do you want with me? Because you've been entering me now, I'm falling in love. What do you want exactly? Because you're not saying anything.
That is better. It's better you are plain than you just go ahead to assume he wants you. But a real man will let you know what he wants ahead of time. Even sometimes, even if he's not ready, he's still going to let you know at some point this is what he wants with you. So you just have to be sure it defines that relationship or the kind of relationship he wants to have with you. Finally, the last question, which actually should be the first question, is what is your genotype? I spoke with one of my friends recently, that had to end his relationship of, I think, how many years now? Maybe 2 years thereabout. I'm not too sure. And he was sharing with me how that he had to end his relationship just because they discovered that they are not compatible. Their genotype was not compatible. A lot of emotions have been involved. A lot of investment, energy have been put into that relationship, and now the relationship had to end. To avoid that level of trauma, it's better you ask ahead, what is your genotype? I feel like that question, sometimes people take it personal, but it is not. I feel like everybody should even have a genotype card. I remember I used to have a genotype card that I got from the hospital with me everywhere, before, inside my wallet, before I misplaced the wallet. I still plan to go and get another one. So everybody should have a genotype card. Not even just for relationship, even for emergencies. Anything could happen. God forbid, anything could happen, and you may want to, they may want to do a transfusion, and they don't have enough time to start doing blood tests. So one of the ways, if they open your pulse, they see your card, they know, okay, this is, or you might even be the one that want to do a transfusion for someone, and doing a blood test will take time. But when you have a card, you're going to save a life faster. So the point of the whole matter is that it is very important that you get to know your genotype. And if you don't know what your genotype is, if your genotype is still what your parents told you, if what you know about your genotype as an adult is still that my daddy told me I am AA, you don't know your genotype yet. You have to go back. In short, sometimes people even have to do the test more than 2-3 times before you are sure of what your genotype is. Not to talk of you not just saying my mommy is gen AA, my daddy is AA, so I am AA. No, they don't assume that way. Especially if you're in Africa. According to WHO, 25% of Nigerians carry the sickle cell trait. That's 1/4 of the whole population, a whole quarter of the population. So you just have to be sure of your genotype. And very importantly, you ask him what his genotype is, to avoid stories that touches the heart. All right, there you have it. These are the 5 questions that can save you months of a dating drama or heartbreak. Does he love you? Does he have a healthy relationship with his friends and family? Does he treat you with real respect? Is he clear about what he wants from you? And does his genotype match your future? These are necessary questions you need to find an absolute answer to before you go ahead to allow your emotions to take over you. But dear sister, if you are cool and if you have a goal with everything that has been said today, of course, go ahead to love him to the end of time. It's your business. But before you start loving him to the end of time, make sure these questions are properly answered and are fully defined. Love isn't only just about butterfly, it's about wisdom and clarity. All right, drop your comments. Which of these questions have saved you at any point, or which one would you love to ask your potential man in your next date? Also, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Let's grow together. See you in my next video. Bye. He never mentioned family to you, and you are still doing you are still going out with him and trying to enjoy his money. My sister, you are on a long thing, in short, like,
you don't know why it's going on.
So
It is what it is. It is what it is.